When the military moves you across the country, it will pay for your hotel and meals for up to 2 weeks while you have no home. And a lot of families pay that bill themselves without ever knowing they could have claimed it. It is one of the quietest entitlements in a move, buried in a stack of paperwork nobody reads closely, and the ones who miss it never even see what they gave up. Master Sergeant Duran is here to help us make sure you never leave that money behind. And for 2026, there is a change that quietly adds a week of this money for some of you. Stay with us for it.
Here's the shape of it. It is called Temporary Lodging Expense, TLE, and it exists for the gap in every move. You have left your old house, you are not in your new one yet, and you are living out of a hotel. That in-between stretch is one of the most expensive weeks of any move, and it lands right when your savings are already stretched thin from the move itself.
Erica, that gap is real money. A week or two of hotel rooms, watch what that stretch of a move actually looks like.
And it is reimbursement, not a flat check.
And that is the part people trip on. TLE pays you back for what you actually spent on lodging and meals, up to a daily maximum, so you have to keep your receipts. No receipts, no reimbursement, but the amounts are real, and for a family it can add up to several $1,000s across a move. The receipts are the whole game here. Treat every hotel folio like a small paycheck, because that is exactly what it becomes when you file the claim correctly.
So 2 families making the same move could walk away with very different amounts?
Constantly. It comes down to how long they were in temporary lodging, what it cost, and whether they filed the claim at all. And that last one is the heartbreaker, because the families who did everything else right can still walk away with nothing simply by skipping the paperwork.
So here is the question I keep coming back to. Could the military cover 2 weeks of hotels on your move and let you pay it yourself simply because you never filed? Thousands in hotel money hiding in a move. There are free guides at military.professorerica.com. Let us count the days. One thing before the next part, and then we move right on. If any of this is clicking, tap that like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for the next one. It takes a second, it costs nothing, and it helps more than you would think. So how much is this really worth? It comes down to 2 things, days and the daily cap.
Erica, start with the days. On a stateside move, you get up to 14 of them.
So it flexes to the shape of my move.
It does, and each of those days is reimbursed up to a daily maximum tied to the local area, because a hotel in an expensive city costs more than one in a small town. On top of that, the cap scales with your family size, more people, a higher daily ceiling, because you are feeding and housing more of them. So a single service member and a family of 5 moving to the same city are working from very different ceilings, and knowing yours is the difference between a rough guess and a real plan.
And if I find a cheap place?
Then you are reimbursed what you actually paid, not the cap. Like most travel money, there is no profit above your real cost here. The cap is a ceiling, your receipts are the floor, and you get the lower of the 2. It is the same principle as most military travel money. The government is making you whole for a real cost, not handing you a bonus. So the win comes from covering an expense you would have paid anyway.
So the value is really days times your local cap.
If TLE only pays back what you spent, how do you get the most out of your 14 days? Know your local daily maximum and how many days you will need, and you can estimate almost to the dollar what the move pays you back.
Master Sergeant Duran is still with us, and now real dollars, plus a brand new 2026 twist.
Because people hear up to 14 days and it stays fuzzy until you attach a number to it. A limit in days means nothing on its own. Multiply it by a real daily cap, and suddenly you are looking at a figure that can genuinely change how a move feels on your bank account.
Take a family with a local daily cap around $200. Watch 14 days build.
14 days at $200 is $2,800 back on the move.
Erica, that is before the 2026 change, starting this fiscal year.
And that is a meaningful jump. Those extra 7 days at that same $200 cap add another $1,400, which pushes a single move well past $4,000 in covered lodging and meals. It was built for exactly the families who arrive somewhere and cannot find a place fast enough. Anyone who has tried to rent in a tight market knows the search can drag for weeks, and until this change, day 15 onward simply came out of your own pocket.
So the tight housing market that used to cost you now works in your favor.
In a sense, yes. The extra days recognize that finding housing takes longer than it used to, so the coverage stretches to match. It is a rare case of a rule actually keeping up with reality, and it quietly turns one of the most stressful parts of a modern move into something the military helps carry.
So the mistake is assuming you are capped at the old 14.
Exactly. Ask whether your new location qualifies for the extended days, because that one question can be worth over $1,000. It is a single question at the finance counter, and the difference between asking it and not asking it can be a month of rent.
Master Sergeant Duran, thank you. That line, ask about the extra days, is the thing people most need to hear.
Glad to help.
2,800 at 14 days. Pass 4,000 at 21. Next, how to actually claim every dollar.
So how do you actually collect this? It is a claim, and claims get missed.
The first rule is the one that saves it. Keep every receipt. Every hotel night, every folio, hold on to all of it, because with no receipt there is no reimbursement. People lose hundreds of dollars over a single missing folio, so the simplest habit in the world, a folder or a photo of every receipt, is worth real money by the end of the move.
Erica, track your days. Note which nights were temporary lodging.
And then you file.
Then you file the TLE claim, usually right alongside your travel voucher, and you do not assume it happens on its own. Nobody reimburses lodging you never claimed. And here is the honest guardrail. Because we never oversell, this only covers genuine temporary lodging during the move. It is not a free vacation, and padding it is fraud. Claim exactly what the gap actually cost you, and you are on solid ground. Honesty here is not just ethics, it protects you, because a clean, receipt-backed claim sails through while a padded one invites an audit you do not want.
So it rewards the person who kept the paper and filed the claim.
Every time, save your receipts, count your days at both ends, ask about the extra 26 days, and file. Do that, and a stressful move quietly pays you back thousands. If this helped you see money you were leaving in a move, like the video and subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making these. Here is what I want you thinking about after this one. How many families paid for their own move simply because nobody told them the receipts were worth thousands? 2 weeks of hotels covered, more in 2026 if you keep the paper and file. Save every receipt on your next move. I am Caroline, and we will see you in the next one.